Hey guys, today we're going to make some Chinese garlic sauce. This is just as good, if not better, than what you'd get in the restaurants. So now we're going to saute some ginger and garlic in a pan with a little bit of oil. You could also use broth. I highly recommend using fresh for this recipe. This is not where you want to use some ground or dried. This is definitely a fresh recipe because they are based upon these flavors. So now you want to whisk these together and let it saute for about 15 to 20 seconds, even 30 seconds if it's not burning. You really want it to release those flavors. And then once it starts to smell fragrant in your kitchen, you are ready to add in your soy sauce and water mixture. And then we're just going to whisk that together. Now we're going to add in our rice vinegar. Give it a little mix. And then we're going to also add in some cane sugar. This is going to add sweetness to the recipe, just a little bit. Also, if you wanted to use coconut sugar or your preferred sweetener, that works totally fine as well. And then we're just going to let this come up to a medium boil. I'm speeding it up a little bit so you can see it come to that boil. We don't want a big rapid boil, but it's a little bit of a medium boil here. So now we're going to take that mixture and we're going to mix it with some cornstarch to make a cornstarch slurry, which is going to help thicken up this recipe. So just a little bit. And then we're going to mix this together, and I like to mix it until it's all combined. I mean, a little lump here or there is fine because you're going to use the whisk in the pan as well. All right, and that looks good to me, so I'm going to add it to the pan and let it boil with that. And we're going to also add in our toasted sesame oil or regular sesame oil, whichever you prefer. If you're staying away from oil, you could even add some toasted sesame seeds, which would work perfectly because it still has that flavor. And then we're going to add a little bit of heat. I'm using crushed red pepper, but if you don't want heat in this recipe, you could leave those out, or if you wanted more heat, you can add more. I like to just use a little pinch because I like to have it so the kids can dip in their veggies or eat it with the noodles and veg or the noodles and rice, just so it's friendly for the whole family, because you could always add in more, but you can't take it out, unfortunately. So now we're going to whisk that up and let this reduce. So we're going to let it come up to a big boil now. You see it's nice and bubbly. It's kind of getting thick. As you can see, those bubbles are coming up to the surface and they look thicker. So we're going to let that boil, and we're going to keep an eye on it as it boils because we don't want it to get scorched on the bottom of the pan or the side. So we're just going to whisk it every so often as it boils. And then you're going to put a spoon in, and once it coats the spoon like this, it's ready to go. So if you're not going to use it right away, you want to let the mixture cool so it's not hot, scorching hot going into the fridge. And then we're just going to put it through a funnel into our favorite mason jar, which can seal easily in the refrigerator and easy for use. You could use this whenever you need, with some veggies, over rice, over some noodles, or however you please. One of my favorite ways to enjoy this is with broccoli over rice. It was the way my father always ordered it, and it's just one of those comfort foods for me. And thankfully my family loves it so much, just as much as I do. We definitely recommend using the fresh ginger and garlic for this recipe. As you can see, it's really in this recipe. It gives it all that flavor. We hope you love it just as much as we do. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.